Hello. Before we get into the episode, this is Joe from the future after I edited everything. And there's a little bit of an issue with my microphone in this episode. So if you start hearing like some scratching, some background noise, a little bit of static, your radio, your headphones aren't broken. That's my microphone. I couldn't get it edited out. But it's not too bad, so I wanted to still get this episode out. So, enjoy. Hello and welcome to episode 69 of Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy. I'm Executive Prime at Knobcat Games, and this show is our audio devlog where we get together every 2 weeks and talk about our game, Dungeons of the Obelisk, a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling loot grinding adventure. And I am joined today by our art lord, Ben Segas.
Hello.
And I wanted to start something new on the podcast, which is whenever we do our hellos, maybe just give like a quick, like your personal plugs. Like if you have something going on right now or something you want people to look at, that kind of thing. Yeah, so mine, I guess, would be my latest album is Circuit Techno. So if you like the sounds in the game, you can maybe check out all of my music on Bandcamp, so clone334.bandcamp.com. So that's my personal plug for this episode.
And I also recommend that. I might be biased, but yeah. I mean, I've been working on a lot of stuff in the background, but like, I guess probably just my Patreon. So patreon.com/BenDrawsLife. Or just look for Ben Draws Life on Patreon. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, and I think all of your stuff is linked in-game, actually.
Okay.
If you're on the login screen, there should be like a Meet the Devs little button in-game, so it should link to our link trees or whatever we have.
Yeah.
So that's something. I just wanted to start like telling people about that kind of stuff at the beginning of the podcast, because...
Yeah. Why not?
That's like kind of the whole point of it. Yeah.
Just share what we're up to.
Give people more stuff to check out.
Yeah. Not necessarily related to the game, but adjacent.
Exactly. So last episode, we all talked about our best and worst part of making a game. It was a question that Wolf Druid Rose had given us during my stream when I was talking about the podcast. So I was curious, you said you listened to mine, so if anybody wants to know mine or the other members, then they can go back to last episode, but I was curious what yours might be.
I was trying to think of something really quick, but of course, like...
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, It's kind of generic, but just working on the game itself is always the best part. Like, just actually getting into the designs and stuff and seeing, like, what you provide and then how I can build off of it. Like, because, I mean, you leave things pretty wide open other than, like, giving, like, a general idea of, like, what the design is supposed to do or, like, what the general idea is. And then I can just go wild with it. So it's nice having like a bit of restriction, but then I can just do whatever, like.
Yeah, a lot of times that is like the key to getting started is just having like a little bit of a direction. Like, I gotta do this. And then you do something new that you wouldn't have really thought of. Yeah. I would say sometimes I leave them wide open, but sometimes I give you like an entire document, like the 3 sword style. Set that drops in challenges. I gave you like a 2 or 3 page document that outlined like all the swords.
Yeah, I mean that's. I feel like that's not as common though with what we've been doing. You usually leave it pretty wide open, but I'm always cool with very specific details like that too, because like I'm always a fan of including a kind of homage to other works and stuff, so it's fun. But as far as the worst parts, now that I'm thinking about it,
maybe there's not a worst part. I guess that would be good.
Or like a least best part, as
yeah.
Probably just I know this is kind of nitpicky, but it's just like trying to match up the designs with the references that I have. Like, I mean, this is my own, I created this problem for myself, basically. But because the way the images are imported into Unity and stuff, unless you have it set at like a specific size and then reference previous versions of it, like it could just throw the image wherever, and I don't want to like make that an extra difficult step for like Nike or if TJ's loading it in, like that kind of thing. So
right, like kind of like the line weight and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, that too. I feel like there's a bit of leeway with that, but it's specifically like if I have different versions of a sword or something, if it's just even slightly off in the location, if it gets imported that way, it'll show up as like maybe rather than like right in the hand, it'll look like it's sticking out from the hand, like that kind of thing. It's very like finicky, but figured out a system to make it work, but it was a little bit of a hassle to get it to line up every time.
Right, for sure. That makes sense. And then I guess maybe to try and explain what you're talking about if people don't know.
Right.
So like you have the character drawn, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you draw, say, like a weapon,
yeah,
it has to be formatted so that like I don't know how much like space you give around, but the file has to be like basically the same size every time.
Yeah.
With the weapon in the same location,
exactly,
so that it shows up in their hand properly. Otherwise, I think TJ can bump stuff around.
Yeah.
But so that he doesn't have to do that every time.
Exactly, because he might not even know exactly how I want it positioned too. So like, I don't want to have to like make extra steps in the process, like that kind of deal.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's just one of those details that's kind of, like I said, it was my own making, so like I probably could do an easier way of doing it, but I mean, for now, the way I did it works. But it's one of the like fine details that can be kind of a hassle, but hopefully nobody ever really notices except for me.
Right on, yeah. Yeah, a lot of that like small detailed stuff. I kind of like all of the stuff that I work on.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into those like fine details is like kind of fun for me. Like it's not as nitpicky, but like if I'm designing something like a new system or new menu or something like that, I kind of have to like get super nitpicky and like think about every little detail and how it affects other stuff and, and that kind of thing, and that's like a fun brain exercise for me. I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's that challenge of fitting it in as like a puzzle piece and making sure everything lines up properly.
Right, because everything that I don't think about during design is something that becomes like a roadblock later.
Right.
You know, so if it's not in the design document, then TJ has to like make it up. And then if he doesn't have like a full grasp of what I'm thinking of, then I'll come back and be like, oh, that's not quite right. And then it just adds like a whole bunch of back and forth. Whereas if I can just think of everything in the original document, then it helps.
Yeah. Definitely have to spend the time to make sure you think of it from all angles to make sure that you don't forget something.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we can move on to our next... Actually, let me look at the calendar. Okay, so when this comes out, probably tomorrow, which should be like the 25th of March... So we'll have a few days. I hope we're not getting ahead of ourselves. TJ should be ready, but the 28th is our 1-year anniversary of launching on Steam, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, genuinely.
It doesn't feel like that long.
No,
and it also
not at
feels
all.
like we haven't done that much since the release, but I guess we've added challenges, a bunch of different items and stuff, a bunch of artifacts and companions, so there's a good bit there.
Yeah, I would say so.
But for the 1 year anniversary, it's going to be similar to some of our other events that we've had. Fairly minor stuff, but we're going to have a reward calendar again. And I updated it with a bunch of stuff that hasn't been on previous ones, like counterpart tokens and some vestige powder. So I think people will be excited about that.
Yeah.
Being able to like upgrade artifacts and companions a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because as we mentioned in the last episode, they are very expensive.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to have double Moonsoom again, which is a huge buff for people that are trying to grind out levels and things like that. So if you can get on one of the experience days when that's doubled, that can be a huge buff.
Excellent.
Yeah, so like Mondays are gold find. So we'll be, when it's doubled, it'll be 180% to gold find. So that's
too
pretty
shabby.
nuts, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I should be on Mondays farming. The other one that's pretty wild is the Sunday, which is experience gain. So that's normally 60%, so 120% to basically doubling your experience gain on that day.
Yeah, more than doubling. Not too shabby.
Yeah. I'm just like on the wiki that we have. I don't like promote it too much. Like, I guess I maybe should, but it's on fandom.com, which is like the most ads you've ever seen on a website. So I've been brainstorming if I could like set up a WordPress and build my own wiki.
Oh yeah.
Which it wouldn't really be a wiki because it would just be me doing it, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So it wouldn't be like user contributions, but it would have all the information up there. It would be a good place to have that kind of stuff.
I wonder if there's a way you'd be able to open it up to contributors. I'm sure some of the people in the Discord would be down to help out. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I was like trying to think about that too, but setting up a wiki doesn't seem super easy unless you go through something like fandom.
Right.
So I'm not sure. Like,
gotcha.
without, if somebody knows out there,
Yeah.
let me know, because that would be super helpful if there is a way to like set up a wiki in WordPress or whatever. I'm just not sure exactly how you can open it up to people without like other issues, I guess, and then with not having those ads on fandom. I don't think there's any other like wiki website that is free like that. So I mean, I don't mind paying for something if it's good, but I haven't found any alternatives.
Right.
Back to the event, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Our 1 year anniversary. We actually have, if people remember, during October, when with the Spooky Month event, we had the pumpkin heads that would drop everywhere. They were like a new legendary that would drop. So we're actually going to add another legendary. I always do this. It's not going to be a set, because a set is its own thing in the game, but like it's going to be like a matched collection of items. But it's going to get like a new one each year, I think, for the anniversary. So we have the ephemeral orb, which is going to be an offhand focus. So it's going to be competing with Shiver, I guess, for that slot.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a new interesting one, I think, for people to farm. And then it'll be like the limited time like the Pumpkinhead was, and then it'll come back next year, I guess, unless we find like another place to put it, maybe.
Of course, now I'm already thinking like what next year's item could be.
But yeah, the look you created for it is really, really cool. I guess like the behind the scenes, we're actually adding another item as well, which is going to be called the Useless Bauble, which really doesn't do much of anything, but it's going to be super rare, and there's people that like to farm super rare things that don't do anything in the game. So Vant is going to be able to farm for useless baubles now. But I had you draw the useless bauble, and you made it like really nice looking. And I was like, that's way too nice to be the useless bauble, so we decided to make that the ephemeral orb,
Right.
which is the event item.
So it worked out.
Yeah, it did. It looks super cool. It's like a gold and like purple, like kind of an ornate thing.
Yeah, and then ended up redoing the useless bauble to make it look a little more useless.
Yeah, so that is going to be in the game, I'm pretty sure, on the next update, because I'm actually in the document right now and I'm looking at the stuff, and TJ's got it marked green, so it should be good to go.
Awesome.
So as long as this event comes out, it should start on the 28th, and then it should run for like a month, probably all of April, and then they tend to just go a little bit longer each time. So
why not? Should be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm debating whether we should talk about what the ephemeral orb is going to do in game. It's legendary power.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might as well. It's going to be attacks that target a single enemy deal 50 to 100% more damage.
Ooh, not too shabby.
Yeah, so it's going to basically be a big buff for the thirsty build.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have the fish that improves your area damage when you hit a single enemy, then this will buff that, I think. Because there was a build that Vant was trying out where he was using the crocodile main hand, the Karuzaran dagger with the heal and the single target. And he was using that with Thirsty, and I think this is an offhand with that build might be interesting.
I'm curious to see how it works out.
It has been really fun seeing people like work through the items and come up with different builds and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like when we first launched, everybody was really into Waywind's Grace, the bow.
Oh yeah.
That converts your dexterity to physical damage.
Oh yeah.
And that was like the big thing. Like everybody was like, run this and health regen, and you got it. Like that was it. And they were like, there's nothing else to do in the game. That's it. And now like everybody runs crit damage and either the axe or the new set swords.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen anybody really using the bow lately. It's kind of funny how stuff like comes and goes.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. As we keep adding more things, there's just going to be a lot of more variety of what you can do.
Yeah, definitely.
But at least that also means you're putting in some good thought with how things work, because it does create that variety and keeps changing things up. And like, also hopefully it doesn't end up making certain things overpowered, whereas other things then get like become useless, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The balance is definitely like a hard part to get right.
Yeah.
My thoughts on it have always been like that there's always going to be something that's best in slot.
Right.
But as long as the other things are kind of good, then it does give you options to play with, and then finding out which is the best in slot is kind of part of the game.
Right. And also like when you actually get those items too, so
yeah, farming for the items themselves is the trick as well. Yeah, there's a bit of like, you kind of do the theory crafting first and you're like, oh, if I had this, it might work like this, and then you gotta like actually get it.
I feel like that's one aspect of games that I didn't really think about as much when I was younger, but now that I'm a bit older and thinking about the math behind things, it's a lot more fun figuring out like just exactly how to maximize everything. Like I used to just have the mentality of, if I can make it past this thing, then that's fine. I don't really care how I do it. But now I'm like, I want to make this as good as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things in Diablo, like Diablo 3 that I've played like a ton. People can, like, the story is fine, you know, like you can just play the game and get to level 60 and go through the story. Yeah. And then you can get to the end of the story and you're done. Or you can play the end game that unlocks at level 60 and start farming for like specific items and making a build and stuff, and it's kind of like, you know, it takes you from like doing, I don't know, like 100 damage, and then you get like one item and it just multiplies it. Now you're doing 10,000 damage instead of just like a, you know, like a simple increase. Like it really can like pile up if you get the right build, and that's kind of like what I've been trying to create in this game. One of the other builds that I've been messing with is the double attack chance, because double attack chance can chain. So when you double attack, your second attack has the same percentage chance to double attack again. And so basically, if you had 100% double attack, you would just attack forever until the enemy died.
Right. Dang.
So like the closer you get to 100%, the better it is.
Yeah.
And Vant was in the Discord. He has his calculator that can calculate like crit damage and different stuff. The double attack chance is like impossible. It's not impossible, but he hasn't cracked how to actually figure out how like the average damage increase, because like crit's easy because it just hits one time for the amount of crit damage that you have. But with the double attack, it can like chain forever, or it can hit not even trigger. So it makes the math really weird to try and figure out how much, like, how powerful that build actually is. And I've been messing around with it in game, trying to run the Gloop Fist, and then the swords, the 3 swords, head and main hand, and then everything else just with like as much double attack as I can. And I'm pretty close to like 40%. I want to say I'm like 36%. Which is a lot. And you'll actually chain, like, I've seen it chain like 3 or 4 times.
That's definitely pretty good so far.
It's pretty neat though. It's like one of those things that's like, you know, a little bit of double attack is like, oh, I just attack again once in a while. But then when you get an actual build, you're like, yeah, I can attack 5 times in a row.
And then just how that will balance out with like other stats that you don't have to prioritize because of that. So yeah, that's really interesting. I think I need to play around with that too. That sounds like fun. Was there anything else in the event, or is that covering most of it?
I think that's the main thing those are the main things for the event. Yeah, I don't want to add too much. Because TJ's been trying to focus on like all the bugs and stuff that we've been having, the crashing and the energy and stuff that can disappear, and the wardrobe and stuff. So those are all like known bugs, and he's been trying to focus on those. And I think the update is also going to have a bunch of fixes for those things, hopefully. And hopefully that's the end of those issues. And then hopefully that fixes all those, and then we can start focusing on like fun stuff again. But for now, I didn't want to like overload him with things for the event, since the bugs were the main priority.
For sure. Should still be fun though, I'm sure. Just have to take advantage of those stat boosts.
And I think farming for an ephemeral orb is going to be trying to get a good one. It's going to be a good grind. Somehow we filled the podcast. We're at 30 minutes of recording, so I'll have to edit this down a little bit. But if you've listened the whole way through this podcast, thank you so much for your interest in our game. Thanks for playing. If you're not in our Discord, the link is in game, or you can go to knobcat.com, link to the Discord, come in, talk to us, ask us questions, anything you want to know about the game. I'm mostly willing to talk about everything. We also have all of our social media, which is Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, which are all at Dungeons Obelisk. And if you're listening to this, you've made it this far, then you probably like our game. So leaving a review is the best way that you can help us out right now. So either a podcast review where you're listening to this, or a Steam review is super helpful. That helps other people find the game. And I also stream twitch.tv/StarRambler. If you go to the help menu in game, there is a link to Twitch. It'll take you to the Dungeons of the Obelisk category. You can see previous videos of streams, recent streams, and you can see if anybody else is live and streaming as well, and you can follow the category there. Or you can follow me at twitch.tv/StarRambler. And I think that's it for all the plugs. I think that's it for this episode. We made it to the end without mentioning the episode number or saying nice. And
I was so close. All
right, yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.